Good evening, friends. Well, it's another hot July day on July 16th here in Killeen, Texas. Been a long day. This weekend, when I got home Friday night, I hurried up and cut all the grass and edged it so that I'd have time to go fishing this weekend. And by the time I got everything wound up Friday night, it was too late for me to take off and go south. So I rested Saturday, just picked a few vegetables, did a little pruning. And Sunday, I left early in the morning, about 1 a.m., headed down to Surfside Beach, Texas. Spent the morning fishing, playing in the surf, had a great time. Nothing like saltwater therapy to make you feel better. In the meantime, my gardens, oh man, I wasn't expecting what I found when I come back. Come on, I'm going to show y'all. First off, here in the new garden, we'll start closest to us at the corner on the left there, that little tomato plant. That's that husky cherry tomato branch that I jerked off my other plants and dug down about 6-8 inches and planted. And it was looking a little rough at first. As you can see, there's a few little dry leaves on it, but notice all the new growth coming up the stem. I believe it is rooted well, and by the time it comes time to put in the fall tomatoes, it'll probably be producing. Right below it there, you see my new yellow squash plants. They're coming up beautifully. And that big green cluster there in the middle is a mixture of cantaloupe and watermelon vines. They just exploded since the last video. The cucumbers are also coming up in there. The plants closest to the melon vines are the biggest, and the further away you get, the smaller they get. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but I'm loving it. This weekend I'm going to put a big trellis up for the melon vines going out that side, and I'm planning to put a trellis up between these two gardens, the new one and the tomato garden, so I can get my tomatoes tied up better. And from the other side, I'm going to let the cucumbers grow over the top. Going to build an archway. To see what I got in mind, I got the idea from the Roots and Refuge channel. Jess over there has got a beautiful garden in Arkansas, and she posts videos sometimes daily. She's got a lot going on over there, but she owns her homestead, and she's doing real good with it. Y'all ought to check her channel out. Back to the new garden there, at the other end, you see the green beans. They have just jumped up, and they're starting to climb as well, but the watermelon is latched onto both ends and climbing on. I'm going to take a few minutes here and take it down from the trellis and train it out into the yard until I get the new trellis up. Okay, so now that I've moved the watermelon and the cantaloupe plants more out of the garden, you can see those two big cucumber plants coming right up in the middle there. I was really surprised that watermelon reached over and started climbing over the weekend. When I last checked them Friday, they had started to grow a little bit, but they were still kind of dormant like y'all saw in the last video. Let's move on to the tomato garden. The tomatoes are doing good. They're holding on in the heat. I'm still having to pick them as soon as they turn orange because of the birds. But I'm surprised at how many I'm still getting. You can see on the aromas down at that end all the flowers on those plants. And they're not dropping their flowers. They're making tomatoes. Lee came out and picked tomatoes last night. So I'm not finding too many today. which is okay because we got at least a half a bushel of tomatoes in the house waiting to be canned. Moving on, the carrots and turnips doing real good. The onions are trying to run over my turnips, but I'll tame them down a little bit later. And down here on this end, my radishes, I know I told y'all a few weeks ago that I was going to rip out the radishes and plant something else here because they had all bolted. But you know, every few days when I check, I'm still finding decent radish bulbs. Some of them got really stout down here. And like I said, every few days I go through and I can find some nice radish globes. This is one of the white globes. The white radish has a real nice flavor to it, and the leaves are great in salad. See, I got a little bit of grass in here too. Alright, well, that's enough for radishes for now. Let me put this in the basket and we'll move over to the zucchini garden. Friday night, I came out and looked at all the vegetables before I cut and edged all the grass. And of course, the zucchini, you see they're growing out of the garden. I had to lift them up to edge under them and what have you. And I had a few vegetables coming on, I saw. Yeah, it's like they exploded over the weekend. Yellow crookneck squash. Oh, wow. We picked one zucchini Friday night. Oh, and here we go again. Wow. Would you look at those? Those are beautiful zucchini. I wasn't expecting that this evening. Got another little one coming in down here. That looks like it's it for the zucchini. Gotta love that. So now, let's move over to the pepper garden. In my last posting, I told you all that I picked banana peppers and Anaheim peppers, and that there were more on the plants coming on. As you can see, time to pick a few. Got some nice peppers here. 7 off that plant. An even dozen off this plant. And as you can see, I left peppers on the plant that aren't big yet. Now let's see what the Anaheims have to do. Off one plant, here's a couple of nice big Anaheims. And under it, I found this one. Looks like something wanted to eat it better more than I did. Wow, lots of bell peppers here. One nice sized one for eating. Back to the chilies. Eight beautiful Anaheim chili peppers off that plant. Another 8 peppers off this other second plant. And I accidentally trimmed some of the leaves. There's one more in there that's just about size, but I'm going to let it get bigger. And then I got these 2. Got quite a few peppers. As you can see, the okra's got kind of leggy. I'll be able to show you as I walk around it how tall it actually got. Yep, okra got up there a little bit. Well, Lee picked a half a dozen pieces last night, and I just picked 5. This one is actually bigger than what I like to eat. I'll still eat it because it's not woody and grainy yet. But these right here, that's perfect size. This butternut squash is a little smaller than I'm used to getting. The last one we picked was the same way, but as you can see, fingernail test, I can't punch it. Flower was dried off, and the telltale on the vine was dried off as well. This is going to eat just as good as that one I had a week and a half ago. Got a little butternut squash coming in here. I'm going to let it do its thing. That eggplant's ready. Looks like we got 4 of these Ichiban eggplant ready. These are an interesting eggplant, but just like a regular eggplant, what I understand is once they reach the length, roughly 10 inches, the best way to test for ripeness is to press it with your finger. If the dent stays, it's ready. And the dent definitely stays with these. So, somebody's getting fried eggplant. Alright, I'm going to take it over to the table, spread this out so we can get a look at what we got, and then I'll bring y'all back. Would y'all believe that after I showed all you these gardens, I forgot to take you to the cucumber garden? When I last looked in on it Friday evening before I cut grass, I had some cucumbers coming. And you know I love cucumbers. That's just my thing. Looky there. Walk up, and the first thing we see, there's a nice one there. Awesome. I'm going to let that one go another day or two. Oh, that one's long, but it's not fat yet. I'm going to let it go another day or two. This one looks like it started to turn because of the ground. I'm going to go ahead and take it. And you see there was another one hanging right above it. Got another one coming right there. Let's see what we got over on this side. Oh, look at that. Right back in there. That big old one. I'm going to have to set the camera down so I can reach under the fence and get it. And look, there's a nice one there that'll be ready in a couple days. This is why I left my fence 6-8 inches off the ground. Oh, and what do we have here? I didn't have to pick that one, it just fell right off on my hand. Let them sit there on the AC for a minute. Let's see. Might be a place to step. There's a nice one there. I think that'll be the last one I harvest today. That one over there can go a day or two. Yeah, that other one over there is about this size, maybe a little smaller. Oh, and look at that guy hanging over there. He's just hanging right down there. Give him a day or two and it'll be time to eat him. Oh, I didn't even see that one. Snuck up on me. Well, hello, big boy. Look at that. Well, what do we got over there? Uh-huh. Better pick that. One day that'll be monstrous. So in total I took 7 good-sized cucumbers today. And I'm looking under there. There's another one laying right in there. If I was hungry, folks, there's 4 or 5 more cucumbers in here that are big enough to eat. And there's probably 6 or 8 more that are just right for pickling size. But I like to get them about that size so I can cut them up and have them in cucumber salad. Wow, y'all. I can't tell you how pleased I am to have this little harvest this evening. I've got more chili peppers and banana peppers than I'll be able to eat in the next week or so. So I'm going to have to can some of them. Got a couple of great zucchini, a nice crookneck squash, a butternut squash, 4 eggplant, beautiful bell pepper and radish, and of course okra and tomatoes. Already had lots of tomatoes in the house. Those are headed for the windowsill. So for this Monday, July 16th, this is SK South saying see ya from under the big beautiful pecan tree. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.